Well, oil, of course, just one of the commodities that's been rallying this year. Metals are skirting records and miners are cashing in. Antofagasta, the copper producer controlled by Chile's Lacqua family, has just reported an increase in annual profit to more than $1 billion. Antofagasta only raised its outlook for 2011 production a month ago, and now it's upping the dividend too, with a special $1 per share payout. Well, Antofagasta is trying to capitalize on surging copper prices. The metal's value jumped by almost half in 2010 and hit a record last month. Well, last year Antofagasta was able to increase copper production by almost a fifth. Well, for more insight now into these earnings, I'm joined live from the London Stock Exchange by Antofagasta Minerals Chief Executive Marcelo Awad. Thank you so much for joining us. In terms of your forecast for the price of copper, how high can it go? There is now a lot of concern that if the oil price continues growing, it will hurt the world economy and therefore demand with copper with it.
This is true. However, there is a big constraint on the supply side of the copper market. So we are still confident that it will be holding up over $4 per pound for a long time over this year and next year.
So where do you see the supply-demand equation going for copper over the next 12 months and into next year? Is there going to be a little bit of restraint in terms of how much will be put on the market?
It is. I think the only new production coming up into the market in the last 3 years, and if we take into account the next 3 years, is our own Esperanza Greenfield project, which is ramping up since the beginning of this year. It's 200,000 tons of new copper unit coming into the market on an annual basis. All the other increases we have seen in the last 3 years and for the next 3 are brownfield expansion from existing operations.
But in terms of the actual demand, how much is that outgrowing supply, and is the gap actually widening?
Well, the gap for this year is around 4%, and that's why we are forecasting an overall deficit on the supply-demand balance for this year of around 500,000 tons of copper, which is on top of a deficit that we finished last year of 150,000 tons.
Marcelo Awad, let me ask you also about your cash, because you have quite a lot of cash, around $1 billion. What do you actually plan to do with this? Is it to buy companies or to grow organically within the company?
We have a policy to grow organically. We like projects from very early stage. Since we like to target new geological resources, and then we take it from there to develop that mine all the way through operation.
Mr. Awad, what is your biggest concern? I just wanted to get one last question in there. What is your biggest concern for this year?
My biggest concern, of course, is the price of oil, and also in Chile, where we base most of our assets, is the energy cost. The energy cost in Chile, the electricity, has been very high for the last 3 years, and it looks that this year will continue very high because we had a drought last year, and we are facing a very fragile grid for 2011.
Marcelo, thank you so much. Marcelo Awad there, Antofagasta Minerals CEO.
Thank you.